Good morning, world. How are you? It's 9:30 and the lazy people are still asleep, but I'm not. I've been awake for maybe two and a half hours. I'm waiting for the pool to open so that I can go for a swim and pretend it's summer in the middle of winter. Um, Everything began with Ryan DeLaha in my neighborhood in 2017. I don't know where the man came from. He acquired his name Ryan Dillaha, Dillaha, while living at my property. He made 10 weeks of my life a complete hell. And there was a lot of screaming and a lot of unhappiness in the neighborhood. There were three of us that were doing drugs in my home, and Ryan decided to invite over Bill, who lives at 441 Como, along with, I think, his son, or a young man with dark hair, into my home while I was out front. They just walked right past me and into my home. Ryan knew that I was having trouble with this man. I believe that Ryan showed him drugs that were in my house and told him that I was a drug dealer, which I'm not. Bill then spread that lie all over the neighborhood because he doesn't like the fact that I'm gay. When I told Patty that I was having trouble with Bill and his wife, because I met Bill's wife in the alley after a storm, and another neighbor was there. And I put out my hand to introduce myself to the other neighbor. We shook hands, and then Bill's wife jumped backwards and refused to shake my hand. Anyway, I told Patty that I was having trouble with this couple, and she went over the very next morning to get the gossip. And obviously believes the lies that were told to Bill, which started the whole neighborhood agenda to get the addict out of the neighborhood. But they called it that I was a drug dealer, which I'm not. That's why Patty had the big meeting at her house with all the neighbors and one man who drove a vehicle and carried a large stack of papers. He was the only one that drove. All the papers were falsified or not even seen and just believed. So the neighborhood decided to go against me and continued this vendetta for a long time, with conjunction with the police, because Patty can't really do a whole lot without the police involved. So the police got involved. And then in 2019, a man came into the neighborhood who's Arvid Ashby's friend and spoke with me, claiming he was the Secret Service. I told him there were problems with lights coming out of Arvid Ashby's home, and they told me that they were going to leave him alone, which is them telling on themselves of being friends with Arvid, and go talk to other neighbors instead. They went across the street and talked to Patty Ryan. I believe that even at that point, the man said to Patty, "We've got a plan to get him out of the neighborhood. So this is what you do," and gave her instructions to tell the police that he was from the government. I have the 911 recording of Patty telling the Secret Service lies about what happened in Washington, D.C. I did not get arrested like she says the man said. And I did not have a severe mental illness, and she doesn't say that directly. However, she says it's sad to watch. There's nothing sad going on over at my house, Patty. If she believes that I have a deteriorating mental, physical brain problem, that's only because of a HIPAA violation that was committed by the police after a setup where I was drugged with fentanyl. And it was recorded at Riverside. This would have been in June or July of 2019. And I had had a CAT scan in March 23rd, 2019. 100% capacity. I don't have anything that's deteriorating because I don't do opioids. It was attempted murder. So the police probably set me up and they wanted to play out that narrative. The police told on themselves in a Netcare probate narrative that I have deteriorating mental health. That's not true. But that's what the police have told all my friends. This is a sick story of Patty trying to get me to move. That's all it is. And it's been blown way out of proportion. And I have discovered the truth of a lot of things because I follow my intuition and I trust in possibilities instead of denying things. I'm not in denial. I follow the word of God and I follow the voice of God, which is a silent voice in my head. Those of you who believe government talks to you in your head. That's the military using remote neural monitoring, feeding your brain with cancer-causing waves, killing you slowly, and setting you up against me, the only man on earth that tells the truth. Government should love me because I'm the bravest person in the world. To go against the police, to go against my neighborhood, to stand up for myself, and to stand up for my rights. But they don't want to make me a hero. They want to make me out to be the bad guy. And I'm silenced because none of my friends believe me. All of my friends believe what the police say and what Netcare says. I'm not mentally ill. It was a plan from HLL 9533, discriminating against the fact that I did drugs. So Patty and the neighbors looked for using behavior, which is stalking, and would call them, complaining and making things up, like Jason Ferris did on April 17th, 2019, when he said in a narrative at 4:44 p.m., quote, witnessed in the front yard with a megaphone accusing neighbors of doing things, end quote. I was a whole county away at the time of the report, purchasing Asha, my kitten, which I gave to Paul Fogarty, who is my power of attorney, because I know that the government and police are trying to get me to lose my home. Today is the Sabbath. It's a day we should all be worshiping God. And it's real easy to do. It takes about 10 minutes. You don't have to get dressed up and go to a church. You have to reflect on your last week. 6 days. And see how aligned you are with the 10 commandments. Your behavior, your words, your actions. And if you've broken them, like, love thy neighbor, and thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. If you're in violation, you ask God to forgive you, and you vow to God to do better next week. That is keeping the Sabbath holy. Patty Ryan is a bad egg. She wants what she wants, which is me to move, because I'm gay. You know how I know that? Because first, she got the neighborhood all involved in the fact that I was a drug dealer, because she heard that I was a drug dealer. Well, that was found out to not be true. So then everything changed to, he's mentally ill. He's mentally ill. That woman is dangerous, and she needs locked up. She's ruined my life. And my fraternity brothers. Fuck them. I've known them for 30 years. And they believe Patty and Arvid. who tell lies. I'm disgusted at my brotherhood. There is no brotherhood. Mike Brenner, Trevor Peters, you've destroyed my world with your disbelief. You're supposed to trust your brother. And you don't.